It's a hot Sunday morning and I'm here to show you a few things. For example, on 15th May I read this in the newspapers. Let me just show you. I'm hoping that you can see this and then I'll make my points here. Can you see this? I hope you can. So what it says is, in city 66,000 vehicles illegally parked on roads. So no, this video is not necessarily about parking, but it is about certain matters related to our neighborhoods, obviously our cities also, and our own lives also. Have a look at this. What does it say? Can you read this? I don't know, but anyway, boom in vehicles, drop in public transport usage, fuel parking crisis. Right, so this was on 15th May. Let me show you some more. This is in today's newspaper. Here, can you see this? I hope you can see this. And what does it say? Why every tree matters. It brings down temperature by 6 to 8 degree centigrade. So, and there, I can read out a couple of more. I can read out some more for you to see. I hope my voice is getting captured and you can hear me clearly. Here, what does it say? Power demand hits season's peak of 24,460 megawatt. Then right beside they're reporting this: cable trouble causes outages in Bhopal and Sheila. And on top they have something more. What does it say? Dust storm, showers bring respite to city. And just below that they say heat emergency calls up 12% in May. And all of this, you get the drift. What is this all about? And what are we going crazy all about? We are going crazy about IPL and our sports heroes and page 3 heroes and heroines. Our Instagram feed is filled with such kind of things. Facebook is also filled with such kind of things. Perhaps YouTube also is. Though of course all of these have, all of these social media outlets also have other things, but what are we going crazy about? We are going crazy after God knows what, and these are the matters that affect us daily. So among the judiciary, the legislature, the executive and the press, right, we find a lot of interviews and a lot of coverage of political entities, political people. So in that sense, legislature in some way. I wouldn't say that we are covering legislature in a great way, but yeah, we are interviewing all these political people and political leaders. Since it is election time, we are interviewing them more so. And judiciary, people in judiciary also come out and talk about quite a few things. And these days, at least I notice myself noticing these things more often these days. So I say there's a fair bit of coverage for judiciary, for legislature. And these headlines that I read out to you, these bits in the newspapers, so that is something to do with executive. So my thing is that uh, you know, the things that affect us daily, the things that affect us in our neighborhood, in our own towns, the things that disrupt our day to day life, and the people who are responsible for delivering on these counts, or the agencies, as we say, who are responsible for dealing with these things, for example, the municipal corporation and some other and whatever other departments that you have to run the affairs of a city. Municipal corporation typically to deal with all your day to day issues in the city, but there are every city has other offices, I mean, other departments, government departments also functioning and doing their bit to make things run smoothly. So, my thing is that I haven't seen a lot of interviews, like, for example, Virat Kohli is interviewed so often, or a celebrity like Shah Rukh Khan, perhaps, or an Amir Khan, or who else? I mean, whoever, whatever movie is getting released. So normally our papers or our media outlets, they are all filled with interviews from these guys. What's amazing is that why don't we interview when we face all such issues, right? For example, town planning, right? We are facing parking issues, we are facing congestion on the roads, we are facing extreme heat in the cities, especially. If you go out in the villages, probably it may be slightly more pleasant than what we feel in the cities during these days. So why are the town planners not interviewed? Why are they not brought to the national televisions? So national televisions are only meant to do with national leaders and state level leaders. So city does not find its space in these national level channels or national level news and so on. So okay, understood. So which means, what are we saying? That since I'm not watching Gujarati channels more often, so am I missing out on things? Am I missing out on interviews, if they're happening, interviews of all these people who are responsible for a city or a town or a given neighborhood to function smoothly? Are they coming on television and talking about different things on Gujarati channels? And I'm not watching Gujarati channels, or I'm hardly watching any television either. So are they talking about things on those channels, and I'm missing all of those things? So I'm quite surprised. Why don't we interview these people? I'm assuming that okay, it's possible that I'm not watching Gujarati channels, so I'm missing out on some things. But then why just Gujarati? It has to be English also. It has to be Hindi also. It has to be any other language. And so why do not we interview these people in detail and release their videos, or release their footages, or release those interviews on? But I see the other side also, even as I'm speaking about these things, which is this: on national television, how is it that these people can? There is no way that these people can come there. And if people are only interested in national television and things like that, in the sense, I mean, sports celebrities who have a national fan base, and movie stars who have a national fan base, and political leaders who engage national audiences, national viewers, I mean nationwide viewers. What am I saying? National? Wrong. Nationwide viewers, nationwide fan bases, nationwide audiences. So if you're interested in nationwide phenomena, obviously the issue of your neighborhood cannot be discussed on national television and things like that. Yeah, uh, but yeah, neighborhood incidents do get discussed on national television. For example, somewhere some crime has happened, maybe robbery, or maybe some grave incident like rapes or murder or things like those. Yeah, I mean, some grave offenses really, or what we consider as grave and sensational. So they do appear on the national television. They are covered by the national television. But these day-to-day things, they just are restricted to the city's newspapers, and then now I doubt how many people, how many of us even read these newspapers these days. So how does one, and we don't read these, so we're not aware. But other than the fact of awareness, that maybe we're not so aware, or we're not paying attention to these things until they hit us locally. Like if the water supply suddenly stops in your building, then obviously you would be concerned as to what has happened, and you would go check or call up a few people and see what has stopped the water supply. Same with electricity and so on and so forth. But other than that, should you be bothered about parking in your areas, parking in your neighborhood, parking on the road in your neighborhood? Should you be bothered about the number of trees and the state of trees in your neighborhood, which is, let's say, just to give you an example, every time I observe these pavers on footpaths and some road being laid around the trees, that tar and all of those things covering or circling the trees and laid out in that way. I wonder whether we understand what are the requirements of these trees, and should we be bothering about those things? These days I see that a lot of there is a lot of whatever buildings are getting created, there's a lot of parking space given to given in these new construction. So depending on the size of the building and the complex, as per rules and regulations laid out by the government, there are either one basement parking level, or two basement parking levels, or three basement parking levels. I don't know, but these things keep happening, right? And so, I mean, these constructions keep happening, and so given the state of such constructions, you cannot have trees in the compounds, trees within the compounds. They'll always be at the periphery of such constructions or such complexes, right? Always on the periphery. So I do not know. I mean, should we be bothering about these things, or we just assume that town planners are doing amazing job of laying out these real rules and regulations which affect all of us collectively? Like, why aren't town planners interviewed? Why aren't we interested in watching town planners talk about the process of town planning and the process of adhering to rules and regulations, and the process of policy making also? Like, for example, in Ahmedabad, we have this metro right now, and they are laying out more tracks for metro to go to more number of areas in the city. So, are you aware under which authority, or who executes all these projects, and under whose authority does these kind of projects fall? Does the town planner have anything to say on this, or the town planner is not involved in this process, and it's largely since railways are largely a central entity, so it's all decided centrally, and the town planners just have to follow whatever comes from the centrally managed department of railways. So how do these things happen? Are we interested? Should Am I wasting your time? Should we be interested in such things? Should we understand such things? How interactions between different departments happen? How your neighborhood gets impacted through such planning or through adherence to certain kinds of rules and regulations, or non-adherence to certain kinds of rules and regulations. It's For me, this is mind-boggling, and the amount or the lack of say or the lack of control that we guys have over our local areas is just amazing. There's practically nothing. Everything that you have to get done, you have to get done through the municipal corporation, through the agency of municipal corporation, right? And perhaps some other agencies also, depending on the kind of work that needs to be done. So I do not know, like, how well coordinated can this become? How much say can we have? And if we have a certain say, does that go against the rules and regulations laid out for us, for planners and for town planning? And so given all of this, given all the complexity or the complexity or the complicatedness of such kinds of coordinations, we are so many in number. Look at the density per square kilometer, or whatever, per even counted per square 100 meters, or 100 square meters, or 500 square meters, whatever. You check the density of people in every area, and suppose we even have a say, and suppose we say something. Just look at the density, just look at the number of voices that we have, and the understanding of each of these voices, and so on and so forth. Even if we take interest, it is going to become a political game, and it's hard to get through. It's hard to make sense among so many people. So, is there a possibility of making residential areas, industrial areas, like located at certain distances from each other, for example, like creating sparser cities, cities that don't feel so congested and so filled with people with such humongous density? Is there a way to space it out to make things sparser? Because space has its own role. The moment things become sparse and well spaced out, things automatically become smoother, work becomes smoother, and perhaps voices will be heard in proper ways, and our understandings would develop in proper ways. Am I making sense? Spaced out, how to make things spaced out, how to make things sparse, how to get these town planners to talk on television, and how to make people interested in listening to what these town planners and what these officials like town planners or all of these guys talk, right? How to get people interested in all of that, I don't have answers right now. I'm just asking you, are you interested in such matters? I do not even know. Perhaps this is one of the most boring videos you're watching. But it sort of disturbs me now. It used to disturb me earlier also, but it feels more disturbing right now when I read these things. As interesting as they are for me, they also disturb me. So what should be done? Let me know. I do not know what's your interest level, and at what level could you get engaged with something like this? I really don't know. So that's that for now. If you found this video incoherent, so be it. I had to express myself because I've been watching this and these things trouble me, disturb me, and interest me also. And so the questions, and so all the thoughts. Thank you. Have a good Sunday. Take care of yourself. It's a very, very hot Sunday in Ahmedabad, and I do think that it's hot perhaps all across India. I'm not sure whether AC is the right solution, but stay under good shade and enjoy yourself. Sleep well in the afternoons and have fun. Thank you.